Good morning, everyone. Coming from Resurrection Bay here in Alaska. I'm not going to say beautiful Resurrection Bay because it is a dreary, cold, severely overcast, rainy, wet day. And it's going to be miserable out there, but I have tons of migratory birds. I got Dowittchers, Plovers, all kinds of stuff coming in here right now. So I'm really super excited to go take some pictures. But what we're going to run today, and the topic we're going to talk about is this lens right here, is the Z Nikon 400 TC lens, which means it has a teleconverter built in, a 1.4 teleconverter, so I can go 400 to 560 from 2.8 to f4. But the cool thing is, I can also do this. I can put this guy on it. It is a 1.4 teleconverter on top of this guy, which means I go from 560 to f4 to almost 800, 780 millimeters at 5.6. And the question we're going to ask ourselves is, when we engage the teleconverter on the lens and we have this guy on, can I still get sharp images? Can I get really good images still? And that's what we're going to answer today. So I'm going to get finally rigged up, get the rubber rain gear on, because I'm going to get down here. This is a marsh wetland, get wet, messy, and all that stuff. Then I'm going to get out there. So let's get after it. See if we can get on these birds. Now, I'm not able to use the Atomos today to show you what my viewfinder looks like because it's raining, and the Atomos is not water resistant. And that's basically how I show you what I'm seeing through the screen, so you can see the focus points and all that fun stuff in my settings. So you're gonna have to do with the video and then what shots I show you. So I'm gonna get down here. I gotta sneak in and kind of belly crawl my way slowly along the edge of this water, try not to spook these birds, and see what kind of shots we can get. And we'll talk a little bit about teleconverters and using them and advantages, disadvantages. There's really not any disadvantages other than distance. Don't be fooled by that because you can make the animal bigger in the frame that you're going to get a good image, because sometimes it's either too far away, or probably like I'm having today, I've got atmospheric distortion because I got wind, rain, that's two factors, low light's another factor, and then this water and this marsh is going to have different temperature in this air, so I'm going to get almost like you get heat haze, kind of the same thing. It's going to be going. You'll probably see it in some video. I'll point it out when I do see it in the video. And what that means is when you're trying to shoot that, even though the animal may be large in frame, with all that inversion in between them, you're never going to get a sharp image. So I'm going to have some problems with sharpness. It's not due to the teleconverter, it's due to that. So it's going to be a good test of, is this teleconverter on top of teleconverter really going to be a good sharp image? I think it will be. I've used it before and I can say I think it is, but I want to show you guys. But let me get out here and get sneaking. I have to get quiet. Hope I don't knock this little microphone I got off because it is windy. So I'm trying to get some good audio for you. Hopefully it's not ruined. Let's go see what we can get. I'm excited, even though it's cold. Tell you what, days like today make you question your sanity when you're a wildlife photographer. It's just chilly and miserable, laying in the muck. And like I said the last video, this is pure heaven. A lot of days right now, oh, it's kind of miserable, but as soon as those birds move back in, I'll be back in my happy place. But whew, it's a little rough today. Oh, there's one. So right there you can see it, what I was talking about with this temperature inversion, the atmospheric distortion. You'll see in this video footage, you'll see that kind of pulsing around, or kind of the animal warping a little bit, the bird. Or you'll see in the background, you'll see the little squiggles, and that's all that inversion. So I guarantee what you'll see, sorry, hang on. That's the white-fronted geese I was hoping to get. So anyway, sorry, get distracted. There's so many birds flying right here. I'm going to get distracted a lot. And like that, when they fly overhead, I've got to just freeze and not move. So what you'll see in a couple of these images, I'm sure I'm showing you right here, right now, is the bird is close enough to be acceptable in frame and size and not that far away. But due to all that inversion, it's just not going to be sharp. I can get detail, but I'm not going to get the sharpness that you would see if he was closer, where that inversion's not messing with that heat haze and stuff like that. Even on a cold, windy day like today, you will still get all that inversion. And no matter how good a day you think you got, you're going to have some of that in distance. So the rule of thumb I have for any animal is anything over 75 yards, don't expect good detail. If it's within that, I should be able to get some detail, but the smaller your subject, that range shortens. So like Sandpipers that are just itty bitty, a few inches long, they've got to be within 20 yards, 25 yards, or you're not going to get great detail. And what do you do when that happens? Well, you shoot what I call more environmental shot. You're not after the detail in the bird. You want the bird to be as sharp as you can get it, but you want to get like the water. I think I got a shot I took a minute ago of a little least sandpiper. He's not super sharp, but what I did was I tried to get my exposure to make that water look interesting, get some greens and stuff in it the best I can, because today's a tough day. It's a flat, light day. The direction I'm having to lay to shoot, there's only a little bit of what I call good water. That direction behind the camera is good water, but there's no birds are going to go into that water. It's just not, doesn't have a lot of grass for them to eat and stuff, or sticklebacks for them to eat, the little fish that they get. So that's what you have to watch out when you're using teleconverters or just shooting your long lenses, is that distance is going to burn you regardless of what kind of day. And today is a day where that distance is really going to burn me a lot. But I've got some birds coming in closer, so let me concentrate on them and I'll talk to you in just a second. Got some Dunlins that just came in. That's pretty cool. Don't know if they're gonna get close enough to me to get them. So this teleconverter that I'm using, when I'm in the 1X, I'm just using, the only teleconverter that's engaged is the one I have attached, the 1.4. What we'll see when we go probably in the next video, we'll probably look at a shot with the teleconverter engaged without a teleconverter attached, which means the native built-in TC at 560. And then with the teleconverter disengaged internally with the one attached, we'll see if there's any difference in the image quality. Oh, sorry, I gotta get back to you in a minute because Sandpiper just flew in. Gosh, I'll tell you what, that was pretty funny. So a lot of you guys ask in questions like, how am I getting video and the still shots? Well, nothing special. I just go video, shoot a little video, then I switch to the stills and just take the pictures. I try to do them jump in between so I can kind of get the same scene with the video, with the image, the still image. And that one right there burnt me. I was in video getting the shots of these least and western sandpipers landing. And right when I went to go to stills to get a couple still shots of them, flew off. So that's the gamble you got. You know, I wanted the video for sure, even though I'm trying to evaluate this teleconverter with stills, and I missed my stills opportunity on those sandpipers. So it does happen, but that's what I do. I just switch back and forth. So with this teleconverter engaged, with the teleconverter on at 780, I'm not noticing, looking on the back of the camera, we'll have to see when we get a detailed look at these in Lightroom. I'm not seeing really any degradation. There may be a touch, but it's hard to tell right now because I have such a flat light. Really hard to get focus day anyway, or not really focus, but sharpness because of the water and the temperature changing, because I can tell already that the temperature's changing a little bit and I can see more wobble in spots out there. But it looks really good. I'm really happy with what I did with this setup. And to talk more about the 400 and the 600 and why I went the 400 2.8 route is because 600 is really good, but there's a lot of times when I'm going to shoot bigs like bears and moose that I'm going to need that 400. But for birds, a lot of times I can get in pretty close. Like last night, show you here, I had an eagle that I could get really close to. And I was shooting 400 because 560 was way too much. And so when even when I got in close to a headshot, I was shooting 400 2.8. Just it's beautiful, beautiful images that come out of this lens. And at 600, I would have had to stay way, way, way back. Or if a bird gets too close to me, then I would be out of luck because he'd be inside my minimum focus range. And this one's a lot better for minimum focus. And that's what I got. And the 2.8 for like days like today, of course, I'm shooting at 5.6 and f4, but that 2.8 comes in real handy on some of these really bad light days. But today, what I'm shooting, yeah, I need to enlarge that stuff in the frame a little more. But these Arctic terns that are teasing me right now because they're real close and flying in and hovering, these 784 would be way too much. Even the 560 would be close to pushing too much. But if I had the 600, I'd be stuck at 600 to 840 all the time. and that's it. And this one, I can be at 400 all the way out to almost 800 millimeters by putting this on here. And like I said, the question today is, how sharp can we get with this teleconverter on here, with the teleconverter engaged on the lens? And I'm seeing right now it's good, and that's why it was a good choice. I tested this before I bought it with the teleconverter and see what the sharpness looked like. So I knew it was good enough, or more than good enough. So that's why I went this lens. It gives me a longer range to go from basically 400 to almost 800, which is really nice. Now, of course, I've got to drop this teleconverter on. I'm going to lose a smidge of sharpness, but I really don't notice that much sharpness. Even my 500 f4, when I dropped to 1.4, which is 700 on the Canon lens, I didn't notice really any sharpness degradation. I think it's because these modern mirrorless and the way they can do the computation on these teleconverters and the lenses, it just works better. And then our post-processing software really helps with that sharpness too. So I don't think in today's age, teleconverters are as big a drawback as they were back when we shot DSLRs. What I'm seeing on the back of the camera, what I could see after I offloaded and haven't processed, just briefly on images yesterday using this teleconverter, they look really sharp. And the images I'll show you here, you can judge for yourself. Do you think the video and the images look sharp? And this is a couple days of crappy light and a lot of inversion in the water. I really like this teleconverter. I think I'm going to go back to shooting some more. I may move or I may stay here. I can see off over there I've got some black-bellied plovers, and I'm hoping maybe they get close enough to me. We'll see. Some black-bellied plovers come in, and they, for me, are a real rare get. If you go up by Barrow and Nome, way up north where they roost and have their chicks and everything, you can get them quite a bit. But here in South Central, you just get them passing through. They'll be here where I'm at for probably a couple weeks, and then they fly out. So being able to capture those guys right there, and they came right to me. So just got super lucky. Shorebirds, Dowittchers and stuff are right over here working this way. So I'm gonna get quiet, get still again, and see if we can get some shots of them. So I'm gonna do that. I'll talk to you after we get done, hopefully having success with these guys. Yeah, this has been super cool. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go see if I can find those geese. And I did see some snow geese with them. There was 3 snow geese amongst those Canada geese that flew over me a minute ago. And I saw white-fronted geese. So I'm gonna go try to find those and get a stock on those guys. They're not as hard to get a stock on because they're skittish, but not as skittish. Let's go see if we can find those, and I'll talk to you in a minute. These geese are just right here. Yeah, exposure's pretty easy here. That's really nice. Just really watch your histogram for, that you're not blowing your whites out or crushing your blacks. You can see your exposure through the EVF, so you can actually expose that bird properly and getting the right exposure, and that's what's really cool. But the modern EVF just makes it so easy to get exposure because you don't need to shoot all these auto modes. You can shoot full manual, get your exposure set where you want it, and you're good. You set your shutter, you set your aperture, and just work your ISO from there. You can see what the image looks like. You can see if you got feather detail. You can actually even zoom in if you want to on the bird, and then you can see your histogram, so you know if you're blowing it out or not blowing it out. You just don't have to shoot auto modes anymore. With DSLRs, you need to shoot auto mode, but with this stuff, you don't have to with the modern EVF. You can see your exposure, you can see your histogram. There's no worry about, bad exposure. Just get shutter set, aperture set, and work your eye. I just work my ISO on days like today. Works really good. Makes it so easy, no matter which direction I face or how my conditions change. So you can overexpose, underexpose. You can go ETTR, or you can go crush the left. I guess that'd be ETTL instead of ETTR. Just makes it so easy with these modern EVFs. Okay, that was fun. They're still there, but they're just getting a little too far away, and I don't want to. I've got some good shots. I've got enough of them. So I think I'm going to see what I can get here with these birds behind me, and I'll talk to you here in a minute. Well, that was a great morning out here shooting all those birds. Just had a blast with it. To the teleconverter, I think it does really good with this setup, even with the other teleconverters. So you're shooting through 2 teleconverters. You would think it would be just horrible, but the way they've got this design with the built-in and then adding the extra teleconverter on top of it, it works really, really good. I'm really happy with it. Now, when I get to post and I start looking at the images, I'll start seeing if I'm seeing any degradation there. It's gonna be hard to tell from today because, like I said, we had a lot of atmospheric in here. Even at short distances, that would really get it. I think within anything about 30 yards or more, 35 yards, you could really start seeing that really bad. Even shooting across the water with that, all the muck and stuff, it was even worse in spots, probably 25 yards or less, that I could see that really starting to mess with the image, or I can see the haze. Like one point in the video, like I said, you could see that looked like the bird was kind of morphing a little bit just because of that heat haze going in there and causing the image to get goofy. Just crazy, because the way it affects the way these cameras see through that stuff. So, but otherwise, a great day. Tell me what you guys think of the images with this teleconverter engaged. They look good to you, they look bad to you. I think they look good on the back of the camera. We'll find out. Wow, fixing to get really wet and really windy. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's a lot of wind blowing behind these trees, and I can see rain wrapped over there. So I'm gonna get out of here, guys, and see what else I can find on the way back into Anchorage. But as always, guys, get outside and go run that shutter.